Hello and welcome back to the final installment to Jo-ttack on Titan, also known as Jim-tack on Titan. Sam.
Oh, to you.
I am Jim.
And I am Sam, and I finally made it here, spoiler free.
Sam made it to the very end of Attack on Titan. We finally watched what's it called officially? It's called the final Attack on Titan, the final season, part
3,
episode 2, I think is what it's called. It's the
With-
hour and 20.
It had like 4 chapters inside this one episode.
I think the last one had 4 chapters too, but that was only an hour long, or 40 minutes long. This is an hour and 22 minutes long.
Mm-hmm.
A proper finale, theatrical length, one might say.
Yes, as previously discussed, like, this is famous. The ending of this is famous for being almost universally hated.
Yes. So, universally hated. I would say that there's a lot of hate in certain areas, but like I think that there's a lot to enjoy.
When I've heard everything, I said at the beginning, where like I've always heard like bad things about the ending, like you never want to end like Attack on Titan. And I'm like, and a lot of my predictions going through the series was, how can they end it that can piss so many people off?
Yes.
And I'm not sure if somebody has a list of my predictions.
You were
at all.
pretty well, because you kept saying Power of Love. You kept like really focusing on Power of Love. By the way, we're gonna spoil the end of Attack on Titan.
Yeah, no shit.
You really were focused on that, and really like I feel like the anime in particular puts a lot of focus on Mikasa. That like also leads you to a conclusion that it's going to be Mikasa, isn't it? And she's going to be the one that pulls Eren away in some way, but not exactly. It doesn't really happen quite like that.
No, but still has a
It's so the Attack on Titan ending is so batshit in so many ways that it's like there were multiple, not even just one moment. There were multiple times where you were laughing out loud at like what was transpiring on screen.
I mean, when it comes to a disembodied head, there was no other way not to laugh.
You laughed at both disembodied heads, Zeke's and
Zeke's was great and fitting.
I could tell that was like a happy, joyous laugh, but the Eren, I kept looking at you like right as Mikasa started pulling the head closer because I knew it was coming.
I felt it in my bones, but I had to see it.
You were just like uncontrollably cackling. Like
you can't do that and not make it like fuck that this woman is broke. It's a complete mess of a person. Like,
here's the funny thing about when I read. So everyone knows I read the ending when it came like year. I think it was a few months after it had finished, and I was reading those chapters, and somehow my brain like I think I just like chose not to process Mikasa kissing Eren's head because I didn't realize that until I spoke with a friend about it later, and then I was like, what? Wait, that didn't happen. And then I looked back, I was like, oh my god, Mikasa actually kisses Eren's
actually
head.
When you behead somebody, the brain is still functioning for a couple seconds. So it was a totally sensual kiss.
But yeah, so we made it. That part was hilarious.
Yeah, so
I still couldn't believe it. They put so much love into the animation of that kiss.
So I guess overall feelings, like I really liked a lot of this, but like there's a lot of stuff at the very end with like I'm gonna compare this a lot to like one of my favorite endings of like at the end of a huge series, like a big resolution series, everybody goes, which is FMA Brotherhood, like that anime where you kind of see where everybody ends up, and it's kind of a pretty nice ending to see where everybody goes. But this one was just like I didn't get any of that, and I kind of left off like not being like happy for whoever, like everybody that survived. And
to me, like, I know people complain about endings all the time, but I don't know why he didn't just extend it. Like, if Ishiyama, because when I was reading, when I finished season whatever, I think season 3 was done at the time or whatever, I can't remember. But when I picked up right when Gabby shoots Eren,
okay,
that's when I like started reading the manga, or like shortly before that, because I wanted like context in case there was anything different. And from then on, it was like 10 or 11 chapters. And in my brain, I was like, I had like 5 chapters to go, and I was like, how is this wrapping up so quickly? Like, why is he choosing to end it here? Like, there is no way that it can have like a satisfying conclusion. And I was right.
Yeah, I think like that's my perfect ending. I think to something is like FMA Brotherhood, where I did to see everybody where they go in life. Not even like you have to be super detailed, but you kind of get a good idea where everybody goes after this huge war, essentially.
Like, ideally, you spend a lot of time with these characters. I think of Code Geass a lot too.
Okay.
And like people actually have made that comparison a lot. Like, I don't want to spoil Code Geass, but there's kind of a similarity
Maybe we could
to
do
the
that
ending.
for a future series.
I think you would really like Code
I watched
Geass.
like one episode and I've watched Code Ment, which is like
the soup.
yeah,
Is it the Sear the Pants store or whatever?
yeah, that's one of the things.
Code Geass became like one of my favorite animes when I watched it like 2 years ago. It was very recent. But
And the Pizza Hut. We had Pizza Hut.
the
If you
Pizza
ever
Hut thing blew my
we have to
fucking
watch
mind.
it and eat Pizza Hut while we're doing it.
But it's funny because like a lot of people bring up that as kind of a comparison. I think that's a really good like series to compare Attack on Titan to. Lengthwise, Attack on Titan is longer.
But that keeps getting new adaptations or whatever.
I think it got a new one recently, but it hadn't for a while. The ending was pretty definitive, similar with Attack on Titan. Like in my brain, as we're watching this, I was like, if they try to bring fucking Attack on Titan back, it is gonna have absolutely none of the appeal that the original series has. It would, because like you'd have to come up with a new contrivance to bring like Titans back.
You do what they do for like movies like that, like they're doing with the Hunger Games, where you make it a prequel about another generation of
which I hate. I hate that almost even more than if they were to do a direct sequel.
or like Fantastic Beasts, where you're doing a prequel. Here's Aaron's dad, but he's a wee baby cameo. Like,
well, have you seen? I'm sure you've seen in Madam Web.
Madam Web, baby.
In Madam Web, apparently Adam Scott is playing a young Ben Parker.
It's so funny.
That's the funniest shit I've ever seen in my
her
entire
family
life.
who went to the Amazon.
That is very
to study
Attack on
spiders.
Titan. That is very Attack on Titan. That Madam Web's whole goal is to keep Uncle Ben alive so that he can tell Peter Parker 10 words one time.
3 spider women have to use the Final Destination powers.
All right, we can't talk about Madam Mask.
Madam Web.
But
Madam Mask is a different Marvel villain.
I know. But
Madam Web's an old lady that sits in a chair.
So, Attack on Titan. It's just
So
I just have a lot of like issues with the story and like the story conclusion aspect of it.
yeah, cause
I can't even like begin to talk about this.
I guess the action stuff was really cool in it throughout. Like seeing.
Yeah, let's just talk about like the actual. Okay, so yeah, basically like most of the first 2 chapters of it or parts or whatever
It's
they call
where
it.
we dropping boys. Like
Yeah, it's them trying to. It's funny because at first it's them trying to kill Eren, or well, they're trying to find Zeke. But then, like, Armin gets captured by an Okapi.
Yeah, you got to like job out. He's too powerful, so they have to like keep him away from being a Titan. It's what happened when you turn him into a nuke instead of just being a big fucking Titan.
Yeah, that's one of the other big cardinal like sins in Attack on Titan is that the weird retconning of the Colossal Titan being a nuke. That feels like it was never.
No,
it was never a thing until it suddenly became a thing. In, like,
same
season
thing
3.
with like the female Titan being like all about the armor making, the crystal armor, but then Eren was able.
Okay, so something. All right, I guess we'll talk about it because Falco swoops in kind of early.
Yes.
Sam, remember the last time we saw Falco?
Okay, I was like, literally
the
before
Jaw Titan. Falco is the Jaw Titan.
Literally before, I was like, okay, Falco, Gabby, and Annie stayed on the boat, and I'm like, and then a bird swoops in. I'm like, he couldn't fly before, right? You're like, yep. And I'm just like, oh, he just could just do that now, and they literally just say, oh yeah, he can just do that now.
So this was not. I don't know if this was a scene that was left out or if maybe it was explained a little better in the manga, but they touched on the fact. I can't believe they actually didn't talk about this. They touched on the fact that the female Titan has like kind of a secret ability. I can't believe they didn't fucking talk about this. So the female Titan has an ability where it's kind of able to take abilities from other Titans. That's why it can do the crystallization. That's why it has like, well, in my opinion, this is kind of me doing fan theory. That's why it has like insane endurance, like when she's able to run. That's why she can do like armor, like the crystallization thing. I guess crystallization would be more of like the
more of a
Warhammer. That's like the Warhammer. But then the armor, because she can also just like and she can do the scream when she howled. Okay. Remember when she howled and called? That's a Zeke thing. So the idea is that the female Titan has a secret ability that...
It should be a copycat Titan instead of like a female Titan.
So I mentioned this literally when we started recording this. My fan name for my fan idea for the female Titan, instead of being female Titan, that's kind of awkward, would be the versatile Titan or the versatility Titan.
Adaptability Titan or something.
Adaptability Titan, yes. Because it's like, it's able to like take powers from other Titans. So that's
if they literally acknowledge Annie at any point other than the literal last possible moments, maybe.
Yes. So I think what happened was Annie was able to use her power in a way that was able to like give a beast aspect to Falco. This might be fucking fan theory. I don't even know if it is anymore from the amount of shit that I've read about Attack on Titan. So, but that's why like, because it doesn't. really makes sense that Falco can just like fly.
I mean, or just have a name of a bird as your first name, so you by default have to become a bird.
It's a little on the nose.
That's why, because he also just looks like he had a beak and everything too, when as normal.
Yeah, when the one time we see him transform as not a
they're
pure
like,
Titan.
he insisted that he could do it, and she trusted us to do it on the boat, and it kind of destroyed the boat, but he was able to do it.
It is very funny that it destroys the boat.
It just felt very convenient instead of them like changing their mind or something like that.
That's what, like, it's things like that I'm like, why did he not just like stretch this out? Like,
or like,
was he under like a weird like time restriction?
Or like, they snuck onto the boat as well. They all like last minute jumped onto the plane and be like, we got to do this. Like,
even if you want to take the time, I can buy the bullshit about the female Titan like turning like taking other Titans' powers.
If it was mentioned at any point, then yeah.
And if they had a scene, like, what's the old thing? Show don't tell. Like,
yeah.
They didn't even tell. They just have like, oh, he didn't think he could do it, but he did.
Thank God that worked out.
So yeah, so I guess listeners, tell me if I'm like a literal like fan theory maniac, but I'm pretty sure that is. I think it's the female Titan using its like secret ability to give Falco an aspect of the beast.
I know everybody that use subtext and are cowards.
So yeah, a Falco comes in. That kind of gives him a little bit more time, because before they were just like dangling. Like now, Levi, who's got his leg was bit by one of the
his leg was pierced.
Oh, it was pierced. Yeah,
it was his one leg was hurt.
So okay, we didn't really talk. So they're all of these Titans. Like Eren is able to like recreate like essentially like Warhammer clone versions of all of the
only one of them
Titans.
of each.
Yeah,
of past ones. And what's the Titan that ate Armin? It was the animal.
It's an Okapi.
Okapi,
which is funny because they have a little joke where Mikasa is like, it's like a dog or a beast or something. And then Annie sees it. She's like, "Oh, it's an Okapi."
The hell's an Okapi?
Like, what the hell is an Okapi? Which is funny. That's a really good like joke in Attack on Titan, I think. But yeah, so that thing is running away. So we were kind of arguing whether it was a beast, a cart, or or jaw. That's kind of what like they throw that idea. I think it's definitely not a jaw Titan.
No, I always say with a cart Titan because they just run around on all fours, and if I see anything running on all fours, it's like a cart Titan. It has the endurance to jump around and everything.
I feel like we see like similar levels of speed and agility and endurance from cart Titans or from jaw Titans though. Or no, shit, no, it's not a. Oh, maybe okay. I was gonna say beast because to me it feels more like a beast than. And it has like a weird tongue thing.
Well, all the beasts that we saw in throughout this have like they're a mix between animal and human. Like it's an obvious mix. It's just an animal, just like Falco is just a bird.
Yeah, there were some really weird ones.
Falco is also just a bird. So
Falco is just a bird. It kind of the problem with this is like the Falco thing is it kind of starts to break like our understanding of the series in a way that is like it's like you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube kind of thing.
Like imagine like if any other like jaw Titans before him were just like, oh yeah, we can all fly. That's our gimmick more so than we're just little goblins with big heads.
And it's crazy too because like I know that it was kind of a retcon, not a retcon, but like it was kind of decided after. But Ymir's Titan looks like just kind of like a regular Titan. Like it doesn't look like
it looks like an abnormal Titan.
Yeah,
just with like more agility.
It feels like that was kind of an idea that happened later on of like, oh, I'm gonna make these like the jaw Titan is gonna have like a certain kind of look and like body type and because otherwise Ymir's only thing is that she has sharp teeth. That's kind of like the one like differential, and the eyes are weird. They're like really small.
Yeah. She's just.
It was nice seeing Ymir, but also at the same time,
she didn't get a line.
It's like too little, too late. Like, yeah.
Well,
none of them. So none of them have a line. None of the like pure Titans.
Well, it would have been.
Wait, actually, does Tom have a line? Or does Zeke just talk at him? I can't remember.
I think Zeke just talks to him.
Yeah, I don't think any of the pure
Aaron's dad technically has a line, but not in that scene. I think.
Yeah, they just stand there creepily.
And I would have been like, man, if they actually had Historia join the team for this moment, it would have been a lot. It would have been great for her to see Ymir. That would have been such a good moment, and they don't.
It would have been. The problem is that they're writing themselves into a corner by making Historia a
housewife.
No,
by farmer's wife,
because she has the pure blood.
I know
she could serve the same purpose as Zeke. So Aaron could.
I know
it could do a thing where Zeke's dead. I'll just grab Historia.
Yeah, that's true. But like, even like a scene of like her seeing Ymir, like when everybody's saying seeing the ghosts and everything, have her see Ymir. Like in like a room would have been like I would have loved that.
It would have been nice. I would have
Instead
enjoyed
of
that.
Historia is like a nothing in this entire last arc. She's nothing.
It's even like funnier because I think they removed a scene where Eren talks to Historia.
Really?
I think so. I might be wrong. I was looking at like some screenshots earlier, but
I'm curious to see some.
It's basically like what he said. I think they just simplify it into the Armin thing where he just says like I'm sorry, but this is the only way. I have to kill 80% of all humans.
Okay, so yeah, action happens, characters get hurt, but no one really dies. Like Peak does like 20 transformations in a row, which is great. What's it called? Reiner tries out the job for like a minute, which is nice to see. I said all the action's really good. There's annoying human stuff going on at the refugee camp because again, Annie's dad has to get victim of gunshot cut away from.
That's like, in my opinion, that's egregious that they do that twice with that same character.
Same way.
And then later on, they say like, if you hadn't shot all the bullets of your gun in the air, we would have fought. Like maybe he could have just taken the fuck. He literally loaded the gun to do that.
Peter Griffin here.
He could have just dropped his fucking magazine on the ground. It's so that's really bad.
It's terrible.
It's just so the problem is it starts to get so contrived. Where Attack on Titan was always like, it doesn't matter like the plot of things, like the emotion is what drives everything forward in Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
But when you start getting these super like plot heavy scenes, it's like, all right, these characters that I don't have any care about at all are like,
yeah, the humans all kind of blend together like completely, and all the ones we cared about are like dead.
It's kind of crazy how like Attack on Titan is like two shows. It's like basically like pre-time skip and post-time skip.
Yeah. And they both like I want to see more of like I want to see more of that, like the whole time skip. I mean, I would love to see that in between.
Yeah, I love the time skip stuff, but pre-time skip Attack on Titan is like perfection. Like,
yeah,
if part of me in my brain, like the show kind of like died when Erwin dies. Like in my mind, like the end of season 3 when they like go to the beach and they have that moment. That's kind of like the last like Attack on Titan. I know more happens, but like I don't know, everything after that, it just feels like it's not as like clean.
I mean, even with this whole last chunk with like the movie stuff we've been getting, it's like I wish we kind of had a little bit more. I wish Annie was hanging around with everybody more.
Yes, it's a shame we only have like one episode where Hanji makes stew.
I would have loved like Hanji in this whole last part too. 'Cause it's still crazy that Connie lives. Like
insane.
Like Gene, yeah, he
lives, and his mom. He also gets his mom back.
I forgot she was still left alive.
Connie has like one of the craziest like fortune. Like Connie should fucking go put money on like every lottery
because they kill like any female character that was in there is just like dead from other than Mikasa and because Hanji's killed off as well and Sasha's killed off early. Like and the story is written off. She may as well be dead.
Yeah, the story thing, and so we'll I guess we'll talk about that later. But so yeah, they fight. They're fighting. It's pretty epic and fun. There's some cool scenes. I love the scene where Mikasa needs to get closer to Eren in the Okapi, and she's like Annie, and
Armin.
then Annie like what'd I say, Eren?
Yeah.
Oh, Armin.
Throws her.
Yeah, Annie like throws.
She does like
launches her.
She does.
It's a thing that she killed people with before, but Mikasa can take it.
Ackermans are just built differently.
Yeah, that part is sick. I fucking love. I wanted like a million more of that. Like every time that like Connie or Jean like jumps on Mika or Annie's shoulder, is incredible. I love that.
Like that. Like as a Reiner just fighting like a bunch of guys with the various weapons.
That part's really cool too, actually. Like, and it was animated well.
I said Peak just like jumping out and it's like reforming and like it's so cool.
Peak like running down the staff is so funny.
Even seeing like you see the past Warhammer that we saw Eren fight. We see Falco's brother. I think it. Or no,
yeah,
Falco,
Marcel.
Or the one,
no.
So the one before where Falco got his powers
Galliard.
from. Yeah, Galliard, and then we saw
Porco's brother Marcel, and it's cool. What I like too is when we see them in the afterlife later. He's still a child. Like he died as a child, and he's still a child. They didn't like age him up.
Yeah,
which is cool. I like that.
They appear as when they died. So. Yeah. But yeah, that was like really cool to see. So like even like at the end, we'll talk about when all the heroes are here or all the warriors are here moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, then basically cut away because a lot of them are like, oh, we're kind of fucked here. What's it called? What can we do? And then we kind of cut away to Armin kind of in the past, And
so he somehow is able to enter the paths while he's inside the Okapi.
with tentacle in mouth.
Yeah, that part's very funny.
It's so funny that
it's also it's really like smart, because I don't know if they did that in the original, but it's smart from like a writing reason, because technically anyone should be able to turn into a Titan by biting their own tongue.
Yeah,
they never ever explore that in the series, but you should just be able to do that. So you can just become a Titan
I thought a character did that at some point where they accidentally bit their tongue and that counted as like transformation.
No, well, there's the guy in season 1 who bites his tongue when he's on the.
I know
the
that
horse,
guy.
but...
He's one of the other.
I don't. Maybe I'm misremembering.
I guess somebody did that, but
you have to. It's like the easiest way to turn into a Titan instead of biting.
No one wants to bite their tongue. People can bite their hand, no problem.
I would do it.
Biting your tongue would be the worst.
If I could turn into a big fucking Annie, I would.
An adapting Titan, but we see Zeke in there as like he's just building. He got really good at building sandcastles and like
he's probably been here for like thousands of years.
He got really good at it though. He made a whole castle.
Yeah, he did. He made a whole castle, and then Armin started to piss on it.
Armin's like, "Yo, look at this leaf though. This leaf reminds me of Aaron." Like, and he's like, "Is that a baseball? Where'd you get that baseball?"
So actually, I fucking love this scene.
I do love that. It is really funny that like he's holding it like a leaf, like spinning a leaf, and leaf is like he's just seeing a baseball in his hand, and then when he takes it, I'm like, is Armin just seeing a leaf being held like a baseball?
There's something actually like really great in this scene that I like. So, because it kind of boils down everything about Zeke's whole ideology, about his whole like euthanasian plan. Because his whole thing is like he thinks it's better for them literally to like not live. And to like never live so you never suffer.
Yeah.
So he needs to be like reminded here like that life is good and life is worth living. And it's such a great like it's almost like a straw man when he's like it's not worth living. Like you get nothing. All you do is multiply. And then Armin literally is just like, I think I was like born for like the mundane moments in my life.
Yeah.
Which is such a beautiful sentiment.
You know,
and then
my favorite moment is just like, Aaron races off, our Mikasa pretending to, not catch up to him.
Pretending not to beat him immediately.
And like, yeah, and just watching him,
And then seeing Zeke relate that immediately to the times that he'd catch with his pseudo father figure.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, I think. And like, it's funny because like later he's like, I still believe in the euthanasian plan. Like in my heart of hearts, I think eugenics is good, but maybe there's another way.
But hey, if I'm like any character Titan, there's a chance I can still live despite having this feeling in my soul. But yeah, and then,
I think it is a clever way of bringing Zeke out. Having Armin like connect with him in this way is a really clever writing way of bringing him out.
And also capturing Armin was like a plant Ymir doing more so than Aaron.
Yeah.
Because like
it's cool because it even feels better because like as we learn, Ymir has orchestrated all of this,
all part of her master plan.
Yeah, she's Palpatine here. Somehow Ymir has returned. So that scene's great. I love when Zeke's kind of coming out of the bone as his little butt.
So that's after that everybody's like, "Yo, we got good guy bone titans of all of our past friends and allies. That some that you know, some that you don't know the Titan appearances of."
Yeah.
Like I didn't know that like the guy who Zeke played Ketchwitz was like a ram beast Titan.
Yeah, well we never see that before.
Yeah.
That's the first time we ever see.
Which is cool.
Yeah, and it's I just also one thing I loved about, and I was curious how they were gonna do it, and I think they did a good job. I just love seeing all the variant Titans of seeing like throughout the years like how the powers manifested for other people.
Like all the Warhammers, they had different like main weapon. Like one had like 2 blades, one was like a scythe.
The armor ones are really fun too. Like some of them are just like a bunch of like rocks. It looks like a bunch of rocks together.
A couple female Titans in there, not many. You see like Aaron's dad, like the beard.
It's really cool. Yeah, we actually see Ymir early on. We see our Ymir, like LD Ymir. Like, that makes no sense. You know what I mean?
Fake name Ymir.
Yeah. And then we have a little moment where she comes back, and I really like. It's just a brief little moment of like, oh my god, like Reiner is like.
They're all and Berthel appears as well. You know, the Cloud Titan appeared a little bit in there, just being like menacing overhead. But yeah, then he comes in and like helps swat a bunch of guys away to everybody's like happiness, I guess.
I really like. I like that moment too, where Armin is like he turns to Bertold and he's like, you don't have to fucking say anything. Like, I know everything you believe. Like, I stole all your life, your memories. Like, and he's like, and I know that you're gonna like fucking fight with us. He doesn't say that, but and then it's so satisfying when he does.
It's great. And then like he's like, "Hey everybody, we're here. We're gonna help. We're gonna win. We're gonna save the day. Hi Levi, I know you want to see me. I'm right here. Let's go. We can make
It's
out."
so
And then Levi decapitates him. It's so funny.
That was so fucking satisfying. That's like a panel that I think about all the time. The manga panel, that is awesome.
I've never seen it.
Where he just like he just swoops in and slashes his head off. It looked great in the anime.
So good.
I loved it, but fun.
It's great. And then
it's so good because like Levi had a little moment before this too. This is like the really good stuff. This stuff's great character stuff. Levi has this whole moment where he thinks back to Erwin. He's like, how could I not like do your final orders? How could I not finish your final command to me? And then he does, and you're like, yes, Levi, you're a good boy.
I had to do this giant escort quest, and I'm doing it.
I had to die 14 times to get here.
Literally dismembered my face. I literally lost like half my face.
Yeah, and most of his fingers.
And he had like no fingers left. Forget about that.
Oh, they have ones. There was one scene that they didn't show at the very end. I wish they did.
There was one when like the first review, I think, we tried like clicking, like he had a hard time gripping like the blades.
There was a little scene from the very, very, very end that they didn't show that I wish they had, where it shows like a grown up Gabby and more grown up Gabby and Falco wheeling Levi around, and it's just like a very cute little like corner of a panel that I love.
Oh,
they didn't show it though.
That's fun. That's okay. You have to show me some of these, but yeah. So essentially, they get like so. There are a couple things that happen. We see like the creature. What is there a term for this? Like the Titan creature?
Oh, so technically, it's based off a real organism.
I know that.
Called a hallucinogenea is what it's referred to as. But I don't know if it's ever given like a proper name. I think people just call it the hallucinogenia. Hallucinogenia.
Well, the Titan creature.
Yeah, the essentially big tentacle worm.
It like breaks out and like I thought it would be more. It was more of a like a metaphorical thing of like, okay, this is like essentially it's a creature, but it's not doesn't alive anymore. But this is just kind of what it looks like. No, it's a physical thing that you can grab and fight.
Yeah, it's a big, massive.
It's very dumb. I don't like how they just fight
worm. It's one of it's to me. I've talked about this. This is like a midichlorians thing.
I thought it was like the whole thing was like, oh, it kind of like fused with Eren now, and if Eren dies, it dies. Like that's how
you'd think so.
But no, they legit fight it, and like they get to the refugee things. They reunite with their parents, and then it just releases gas, and then it
yeah, and it turns all the Eldians into pure Titans.
Yeah, which is fucking horrifying because Connie and Jean are like doing the goofy goober hand holding. Like
that is actually like
I love that scene.
That is an incredibly emotional scene for me.
And speaking of Jean, he has his character moment of blowing up Eren's head.
Oh yeah, we didn't even talk. So before they even go there, the whole thing with that Peak had initially done was throw all of her explosives around all her Eric's dynamite throat. Eren's throat. And Jean was the one that finally, which is great. We love that Jean got a W. We love that Jean got a win over Eren. I fucking love
Jean. Jean's one of my favorite characters in Attack on Titan.
Yeah. He actually, I feel like he got a lot in the finale.
Yeah.
He kind of was like sidelined a bit.
He got more than he got in the live action movie where he fucking died.
I forget.
He gets killed off in like the live action movie.
I don't care.
Great movie.
No, don't watch it.
You should. It's hilarious.
So yeah, so that whole scene where they are like, they're like, they immediately make the call. They're like, get out of here right fucking now. Like, take like, actually Annie's not there.
Take the Titan.
You take the no, not the kids, because Gabby and
no,
Gabby
they
stays.
take the kids and the Ackermans because they're immune to the gas. So,
but not Gabby.
Not Gabby.
Gabby's not immune, so Gabby does stay behind and does get turned.
Yeah. And we see like her chubby Titan form.
She does have a little chubby Titan face. That's very sad. That whole thing, and then we have the final confrontation. So yeah, Eren is a big an Armin turns colossal to like do a big nuke, and it's like the biggest fucking nuke. And yeah, Eren. But so now we see Eren come out as like a colossal version of his Titan.
Yeah,
which is kind of cool.
Where him and Armin go hand to hand.
Yeah. There's actually, so I don't know if I told you, but there's a really cool, he does a lot of like backrooms like videos now, animations, but this one guy would make like these Attack on Titan video, like CG videos that were done in the style of like sort of 1920s like footage. I think I might have shown you one or two from like early season 4.
Maybe.
but they're very cool. And he did one of this final fight of like Eren and Armin fighting, and then like the hallucinogenia, but it's done from like a 1920 style camera, so like you don't have any sound, and you just see like the images are like really like black and blurry.
But yeah, so why
Pretty
everybody is kind of fighting this Eren and all this like all this stuff's happening. They kind of just like
every other Titan shifter is like holding on to the
they're holding something
hallucinogenia.
They're holding something back, either Eren or like the other Titans
Yeah.
right now. And basically the final is Mikasa is the so there's a lot of stuff. There's also like past talk between Eren and Armin and Mikasa separately.
So that doesn't happen until they kill.
Yes.
Until they technically kill Eren.
Cause yeah, they send him by like each of them to do a strategy. Like they blow up the teeth of the big head and send Mikasa in there to decapitate the head smoothly, and then she victoriously makes out with the Eren head. And she had, oh yeah, they mentioned that she's having the headaches and like it's this latent Aquaman power that happens,
which apparently was actually the Ymir influence the entire time. I
guess I don't know what that really means.
To me, it's like we didn't talk about Mikasa's like mind palace too.
Yeah,
Mikasa creates like an alternate reality for herself where she imagines that her and Eren just ran off,
and then that kind of became like the past conversation that they had as well. Because that's all. Because they remember after Eren dies, they all they had their memories of that time return.
Yes, so that all happened like forever ago. That happened like when they were on the ship.
This is like another fucking OVA sequel of like all those OVA mind palaces were actually canon to this.
It's really fucking funny because it's very similar to remember that one OVA episode. There's an OVA episode where they escape.
Yes, when Eren dies on a balloon.
Yeah. It's very similar to that one, or was that a different one? But I when I watched that, it was already after I'd finished reading it. And I was like laughing, like, "Oh my gosh, they did this already! Like they did this before the final chapter was even written." But yeah, so Mikasa does it, and then
she kisses Eren head. It's very unsettling.
She's
so
a fucking
crazy
funny
person
that she would decide. And then Ymir watches.
Ymir watches like a cuck.
So this is when we kind of get a deep dive down. So let's talk about Ymir first. So Ymir, we see in the very beginning of the episode, we see her let the pigs out, which was like the original crime that she was sentenced to death for, was that she left the door open in the fence where the pigs were kept, and the pigs got out.
Yes,
that's why they like blinded her. And would they blind her?
They cut her tongue.
They like were killing her. They like
she had many horrible things happen to her.
Yeah.
So
that was her crime. Her crime was like freeing creatures. That's like freedom. So we learned through Eren that Ymir had like this entire time had love for King Fritz. Love is what kept
she was
her
loyal for 2,000 years.
Yeah, her loyalty through love is what drove her to continue the curse of the Titan. So have with that what you will.
Sure.
I don't really know where to take that. I think it's like, I wouldn't call that love at a point. I would call it like it's like worse.
See, I was thinking like, okay, the Ymir stuff is like she's kind of like the gatekeeper of the power stuff, and not like an actual like physical person that has this much control. She's more so just gave the keys to Eren, and I guess not the case going by this episode.
Well, that's the thing. So
she's not like a watcher of the power thing, like but she literally is just in control. I guess.
But so we're supposed to have this idea that she is like a slave to her own
love.
Yeah, like so her love, and don't we see her with like a chain? Like
we see her at many points throughout the flashbacks,
like the idea is that she is like literally like a slave to her own feelings to the point where she has no control over herself, which or her destiny, which kind of ties into Eren, how Eren ultimately has no control over his fate. No matter what he says, he does. We have to take him at face value because we don't know if Eren ever tried to change his fate. He only tells us he did.
Yeah.
So he says Ymir loved King Fritz, that's why she did it. Also, Mikasa is the key.
She's the key.
Mikasa is the key. Mikasa is the reason why what's her name? Ymir, all this time
she's been poking in her head.
Yeah, she's been fascinated with Mikasa. So I guess the idea is that
Mikasa.
What's your take here? What is your fucking take here? I want to hear a fresh.
What I think it happened, or what?
Why do you think Ymir gives a shit about? Why is Mikasa the key?
I guess she's the only character. The character that she thinks shows love the most, I guess, even though it's the most one-sided love throughout the entire series. Where like I had more love romance between like a little bit we have of Armin and Annie, which is like the most interesting thing because you have the whole thing of the memory. That's way more interesting. Or
and it's cute.
Yeah. Or you get the other romance stuff. Ymir and Historia was a lot more romantic than anything else with Mikasa or Eren.
Yeah.
Like it just like. I guess that's the why she had the strongest sense of love, like undying loyalty love, even though like Eren like literally like just like shat on the entire feelings of him in like that one scene with them together.
And I guess that's supposed to be like one of Eren's attempts to stop it all was by him shitting on like surely Mikasa won't still love me if I tell her that I've always hated her. Which also I hate to say this, but going back to that scene, apparently Eren was lying. In that scene, Eren was not truthful with Mikasa. He lies, says he hates her. He actually cared deeply about her, which, in my opinion,
which never showed at all.
Ruins it. It fucking ruins it.
It never showed at all the entire series at any point. Eren always ignored her.
Eren has always been portrayed as like confused and naive whenever it comes to the subject of romance or love. The fact that he had this like middle school crush on her this whole time, and he like. It's just embarrassing. And it's very embarrassing.
What have Mikasa's always been like, I'm just gonna quietly like blush in the corner and say Eren while holding my scarf, and that's all she does. She has like no character to her other than being the best.
Yeah, she's the best, and she's obsessed with Eren.
She's a psychopath as well, but
she is also a psychopath. When she murders those guys in that one episode,
murders a guy, steals a scarf from a dying girl.
That part's fucking hilarious.
Like, there's a many things, and like I have no reason to like this character. She's like the least human character out of everybody. She's not even a Titan.
There is a time in Attack on Titan where I fucking love Mikasa. She's my favorite character, and it's like episodes like 3 through 4 or 3 through 5 when she thinks Eren's dead and she's like, I have to live my own life. That is to me.
We talked about that before.
Yeah, like that is like when I was rewatching the series, because obviously I watched season 1 years and years ago. And when I was rewatching it, I was like, wow, I forgot about all this. Like Mikasa, it's really setting Mikasa up to be the hero of this show now that Eren died.
It was actually Armin the entire time.
Yeah, and it's like Mikasa is frozen in that moment forever. She's never allowed to like grow past that. And this finale like cements it. Like she is still in love with Eren. We don't know if she has children with someone else.
It's like last words she literally ignores of like get rid of the scarf and move on. And she's like, I don't think I will. Throw it into the fire. No.
To me, I think like I love Attack on Titan where Eren says, Mikasa, I hate you, or whatever. Like
that's one of my favorite parts.
It is such a wonderful moment because it just shatters everything about like their relationship, and it puts Eren in this position of like, oh no, he's fucking like evil.
He's
like,
burning all his bridges.
Yeah, like he has literally seen something that has broken his worldview.
But they do that a lot where like everybody's like sympathizing Eren throughout like the end part of it, and I just like, no, all of you should hate like this he fucking killed 80% of the planet. Like, fuck you. Stop trying to think Eren, it could have been different, or like
it's
Eren,
hard because like I really like the idea of your best friend who you were just best friends with and you've been trying to save committed the most horrible crime ever. I can understand, and they die. Like I can understand Armin's reaction and like crying and like being sad seeing it because. But I feel like that feeling should fade. That's an immediate feeling. I feel like Mikasa should grow to resent Eren deeper than any human should have like resent for any other human.
It's just
Eren, like he actually. So okay, I think we can talk about it now. So there was a line that they kind of, I guess, famously.
So when did this line happen?
Remember when it's right when Armin. I think it's right near the end of Armin and Eren's conversation because they're both their adult versions and his face is fucked up. So,
oh god,
remember the whole line about like we'll meet you in hell?
Yeah, I love that.
That was anime original.
Really?
Yes. So
because that's their whole like I guess while he's dying like last conversation. Yeah, it's just them like Eren like I killed 80%, man. That's fucked up. But I'll see you in hell to fight you to like the death down there.
I don't remember if Armin punches him in the anime or in the manga. He might, but I don't remember for sure. But so I would.
The only time Eren turns back into that frightened little child is like when he breaks down there. But
I would just like to read. This is one of the last things that they say. So instead of saying the we'll see each other in hell, here's what Eren says.
Let me read it.
Do you want to read? Okay, Sam. Let me open it.
I need to read this.
Why is it? Oh my god! Fucking Reddit. Just garbage. Here, you can read it.
Am I right, guys? Oh my god, the art I'm not used to. The next time we meet, we'll be trying to kill each other. But when all this ends, you'll remember again. Eren, thank you for turning yourself into a mass murderer for our sake. I swear I won't let this tradition go to waste. That looks like a fake lie.
It's real. It's literally real.
Like, Armin literally goes, this is like unforgivable for killing 80%, but like, I'll see you in hell because, you know, we both committed horrible crimes and we'll fight there once I meet you there. Like,
I actually kind of liked that.
I like that line. Other than, thanks for being a fast murderer, man. You really are, bro.
So yeah, that was the biggest, like, they had to remove that. It's kind of horrible that Armin would even say that. And I feel like they added something in the anime too where he says like you idiot, people won't still see us as heroes. Like too much murder has happened. Like
we have killed countless amount of people. Like,
but they kind of hand wave it away. Like they hand wave the idea of like this is like a childish mentality that Eren has.
Well,
like,
they become
if we only kill 80% of the world, then it'll all be fine.
As we'll talk about later, like they do become heroes to everybody on the outside, but like to the place they're from, they're not. They're like enemies essentially. So.
Yeah, it's almost like Eren's plan was like completely horrible and waste of like everything.
So
but Sam, he said he couldn't do anything to change it.
He even let his mom get eaten.
Okay, that's a big thing. Eren letting his mom be eaten so that Bertold could live, so that Armin could get the Bertold Titan.
I guess
there's more. I mean, Bertold also like it would have ended like their invasion early, and that would have caused a bunch of issues. That is insane that he let he let it to his mom. He let his mother-in-law, his mother-in-law, I guess. No, it's his mom.
Oh, his real mom eat his. No, wait.
Eren.
No. Remember the Titan that ate his mom was his. Wasn't there that his like his?
Oh yeah, I know.
Stepmom?
Yeah, his yeah, it was his dad's first wife.
Yes. Yeah, so that's very weird. It's just like fucked up. Like, oh yeah, it made me sympathize for Eren. Oh, there it goes. Like,
and then to me the scene that is like the final nail in the coffin that is irredeemable for me is when he's like talks about Mikasa and he's like, Armin's like, you fucking idiot. Like you played with her heart. He called him like a heartbreaker in the sub, and that was kind of a funny line, but and he's like, no, I don't want her to be with anybody else. He's like, I don't want to die.
He's gonna be happy when she, do you want her to move on and like, find somebody else and have kids? Like, no.
It's just like that scene in Smiling Friends when the what are they called? The frowning friends guy.
Oh yeah, he cries.
Like, yeah, when he puts the gun to his face,
Why
he's like, no, please don't kill me, please don't kill me.
Why are you crying? I'm gonna shoot you in the head.
Yeah, it's literally like that. Like Eren was,
and then the Renaissance man came in there and shot Eren's head again.
Eren had like a stone cold reaction to like all the horrible things he was doing for like 2 seasons or whatever. It's weird how they.
And once he's in purgatory,
and then he's like, no, actually, I wish that Mikasa and I could live together. It's like, I mean, also just surely it's a decision.
And also just every conversation that we had was just like memory wiped out of them until his death. And I'm just like, a lot of conversations probably maybe could have changed Eren's point of view at some point, like.
You think so? So what a lot of defenders will say is basically that the world of Attack on Titan is deterministic, where there is no free will. Eren was given the power to see the future, but even with that power, nothing, because there's no free will, he could not change anything. Like, because he says like no matter what he tried to do, he couldn't change it. But
despite, I don't know, it makes.
I just think it's weird that he just never like tells Armin like. Why Armin is like the smartest guy? Why would he not just say, Armin,
Your
I
best
can
friend.
see the future, and I'm seeing a horrible thing. Like, what can we do to stop this?
And it's not like a thing where like, oh, I'm like Doctor Strange in Infinity War, where I'm like going through every.
I've seen 15 billion times. Like, no, it seems to be, as I said, like deterministic. Like, there is one timeline. There's not like an Attack on Titan universe. There's one timeline.
A lot of your stuff, you're going back off of your life, where you kind of trying to make your life events canon in that way to like match up, and like you're like, okay, I just gotta lead my way back to here where I am now. Like, I have no choice.
And like, if you wanted to go further down that rabbit hole, you could say maybe it was Ymir herself, like putting that restriction on Eren. But that would just ultimately make Eren like weak and unfree. Yeah,
and that freedom thing is also just like, oh yeah, you're giving yourself no freedom of choice because you are forcing your life the way you are now. You see it now.
And just like one other thing too, like even if there is no free will,
that's why having
and Eren
time
keeps
travel.
seeing that, Eren still engages in so much cruelty to the people he loves that he himself is irredeemable for just that. Like, putting aside the war crimes.
Everything that happened in the final season, like the attack with the Warhammer, the whole city attack, his fault. Everything that happens back on the island, his fault. The Jaegerists dying, and the fight between Jaegerists and them, his fault. Like Sasha dying, as you've learned. I mean, he laughs when Sasha dies.
He does. He literally does laugh. So that kind of is interesting because it makes it seem like he wasn't expecting that. I don't know.
That's what happened. Well, Gabby still got a gun. She got a shot off in this. So
yeah, I really hate the idea of like determinism ruling Attack on Titan's universe.
I just hate having any kind of like time travel or like seeing the future kind of or in going back into the past to manipulate events thing.
Yeah.
It just fucks up a lot of stuff.
I really do like that he does the go back in the past thing, but the fact that they like
if it was go back to the past and observe events, kind of like an Avatar. State kind of thing. Yeah, that's fine. But when you can like influence your dad,
I think it's a really clever way to do time travel, but it's still time travel, and you run into a lot of the issues.
When you have influence by going back to the past, that's when it's bad. When you're like go back to the past and like observing flashbacks in that way, yeah, that's fine.
So maybe we can look at that as like so what Eren did to his dad by like forcing him essentially to like commit horrible crimes. Maybe that's kind of what Ymir is ultimately doing to Eren. If we want to kind of zoom out,
I guess
like you could make the argument that like Ymir herself she's created this kind of weird kink where she wants to create a person who's so obsessed with Eren that she gets her jollies off, I guess, by seeing him kiss. So she creates that whole situation where she makes Eren become the most horrible person so that Mikasa can kiss him.
The most horrible, awful event to ever happen.
I just don't understand. Why is Mikasa like the key?
I don't know. I said this is
the whole Ackerman thing is never like really explained. Like why Ackermans are like.
I said it before. Like this romance is like the most. It's nothing. There's nothing in this. I feel nothing the entire series. One of my biggest complaints through the entire show is like all the Mikasa stuff because it's just not interesting or like there's no romance. There's no.
If they wanted it to hit harder, they could have actually had them getting like close maybe in season 3. Like have them like kiss or something so that the feelings are mutual. It's not just Eren being like aloof.
Or you have a scene where Mikasa maybe opens up about her feelings to him directly and like he doesn't know how to react to that. Like he's very confused and just like I don't know.
Yeah, like the scene in ReZero when
I've never seen it.
So you've heard the meme though.
I love Amelia.
Yeah, the whole like Rem spends like literally like 17 minutes like.
But I love Historia.
Explaining why Eren or not Eren. What's his name? The ReZero guy should be
Subaru.
With her. Yeah, Subaru.
I was thinking of a car. Going through all the cars in my head.
You were like Hyundai, Suzuki, Subaru,
Mitsubishi. No, but I said it's just the most nothing love story in anything, and I'm like, this is like the one thing that would piss me off in the ending if they go hard on this, and it was.
Imagine if it was reversed. Imagine if Eren was a girl and Mikasa was a boy. Like, how much creepier the whole thing would be.
Are you talking about like the Twilight series book where it's just all gender swapped and the guy's like, I get it now?
It's kind of that kind of actually it. Twilight is kind of a reverse Attack on Titan in that situation.
There is like a gender swap Twilight,
aware, yeah.
That the guys now understand why girls love it because of that.
It's like a controlling like
a controlling
abusive, hot girl.
Hot vampire, and then you're also a hot ripped werewolf girl.
Yeah. Funny.
But no, yeah, I don't know. I think it's just dumb to make Mikasa the key. She's just like I think she's also really badass, but Levi is like a way cooler, way more interesting character. Like
everyone loves Levi.
Yeah, like he's way more interesting. Like he has he had the whole arc with Kenny and everything. What does Mikasa have? She met a Japanese woman and she brushed her off.
It's insane how amazing season 3 of Attack on Titan is. Kenny is fucking incredible.
Yeah, Levi has everything with Erwin and Hanji. What does Mikasa have? She stole a scarf off a dead girl who stole her scarf because she she rescued her with a child, and she did not care. Like if she had any kind of regret of like, oh, this is like. I was a hero to this girl, and it led her down this horrible path. Maybe I should think about. No, she didn't think about it at all.
No, yeah, she never. Not a second thought about her actions.
She has no character. I'm like, I don't know how Mikasa.
She's kind of a robot in a way. It's a little scary.
All we had, or her crowning moment. Can you remember what do you think her crowning moment in the entire Attack on Titan season to me is?
In the whole series,
and it is her working out with her abs just showing off. There you go. Thank you for answering.
Which was in a fucking OVA.
Yep. Her. Man, that's
criminal. That is criminal that they did that.
Yeah, I don't know. She also got the worst haircut. Also, and like
I really hate her post time skip design. I think it looks really bad.
But yeah, I don't know. She's a nothing character. I guess she's the main three, but she and it happened in many shows where you have a main trio. And you make the girl just she's not useless as a fighter, but she's useless as a character, and somehow she's just made to be the key important
it's
plot
like
thread.
It's an inverse of a lot of shonen, like the shonen main 3 characters thing, where it's like one's a girl and like she's useless.
I mean, Jujutsu Kaisen going through that where their female lead it just disappears. I think still hasn't appeared after like 100 chapters.
I don't know anything about that. So, but back to Attack on Titan. So. We bitched, we moaned, we complained. Ultimately, Mikasa takes Eren's head.
Makes out.
Oh wait, did we? Yeah, okay.
They all kind of said Armin has his mind palace talk, and then Mikasa's was just like the little cabin where they were together, and
we don't actually really even see what they talk about though. We just have Mikasa sees Armin, and she's like, like Eren talked to you too, right?
Oh, when he dies in like the cabin, that's supposed to be the end of the mind palace like talk. Their past talk, because they mentioned like, oh, you remember everything too when they meet each other or talk when they see each other.
Yeah,
that's what that was supposed to be.
So do you think that maybe because like the Ackerman powers are like stronger, that maybe she was getting like she was seeing that too soon? That's why she had the like pre-flashback.
Maybe, I don't know. I could not. That's
kind of one of those things that doesn't matter.
But also just he also tells Mikasa, throw away that scarf. And also during that entire thing, she's like, no, I don't think I will. And keeps the scarf for the entire... I wish the bird flew away with the scarf. It would have been very funny.
Yeah, I thought the bird does fly away. Actually, I saw a figure today of the bird pulling the scarf off of her. They're making a figure out of that.
I want, just give me the peak figure. But yeah, that's kind of all the Titan powers are all gone. The humans... Eldians are humans now.
One of my favorite scenes, we see Levi do the salute to
the ghosts of every other jobber, every arc character.
I am like a sucker for scenes like this. Like the fact that like this is like the moment where like all of the Titan spirits kind of go away. Like having like them see him and they can't talk, which I love. I love that there's no talking, but having them like all look at him and like he salutes back. Oh,
every arc
tears.
As it's what's it called? We see Jean and Connie see Sasha, and I was like, they're gonna cut to Gabby, aren't they? And they completely cut to Gabby and Falco hugging each other, which is really nice.
Also,
to see.
I love that Gabby Sasha's smiling. It's very cute. It's nice seeing Sasha again.
Yeah, I wish he stayed around because the female cast is very lacking. But at the end,
I think it was. Oh, we've talked about this.
I know.
I think it was so great that they killed Sasha off. I think that was like such a great choice in writing.
They could have easily killed Connie.
Yeah, and we wouldn't have cared. Like, if she killed Connie, people would have been happy about Gabby.
You would have had to kill Jean, or you would have had to kill Sasha.
Yeah, you couldn't have picked a better character. Having Gabby kill Sasha
or
makes
Hanji
Gabby,
or something,
like the best fucking character ever.
Yeah,
it's like it makes her so hated that she has like the level of hate to love that she jumps to for what she does is so fucking strong.
But we kind of get an epilogue of some sorts in a way. Oh, yeah, Mikasa goes, I'm going to give Eren a proper burial before, I'm like, how are you going to...
Presumably she walked home over the oceans, over the fucking...
She's, like, in probably the middle of Africa.
That's a big, like, fandom joke about, like...
Did she carry
Mikasa
the head?
literally, like, walk home.
Did she have a backpack? She just carried the head in?
She just walked in her hands, apparently.
It rotted by the time it, like, got there.
You think fucking so.
And they gave him a fucking burial, which he does not deserve a
No.
proper burial. 80% of the fucking world's wiped out.
And also, we didn't talk about this, but like
the weird baby moment where they like had the red Schindler's List child being carried at the crowd.
We didn't really talk about this, but there's kind of a thing with Aaron's trying to like say that, don't worry, I killed off enough people that the cycle of violence is over.
No. He said I killed enough so the world cannot possibly retaliate.
Yeah, that's what he says. Like they cannot possibly retaliate. It's like, are you fucking stupid? Like that is like literally the point of the cycle of violence.
Any kind of relations is fucked.
Like the fact that you left anyone is actually worse than leaving no one.
If you just killed everybody in that city and like the ones that knew about your whole thing there, then yeah, but at this point, the world knows.
If I could rewrite Attack on Titan, I would make it so the rumbling was a small scale rumbling like he talked about and only destroyed Marley instead of the whole world.
It makes sense.
Having them destroy the whole world,
they don't know.
breaks too much.
They don't really know. Like other than the ones like the people from Japan that came over to or whoever had relations with, but that's probably something that only high-ranking government people probably know about.
Yeah.
Because it'd be horrifying the world. But everyone in the world knows India, like Thailand, Japan, like all those.
And you just look at the ground, like the proof of like there's going to be footprints in the ground for years and years. Like there's not going to be just an overnight like, oh, we don't hate the Eldians anymore. It's like, oh, the Eldians, like they changed our world so much that we live in like stone huts now.
And like as we see in the epilogue, where like, the Jaegers are like in power on the island, and these people that still probably believe in Eren's fucking cause, like they are just crazy Nazis over there.
That's why for me, Attack on Titan's ending is so hopeless because
the Nazis are still in power.
Eren's whole goal was, like, oh, don't worry, like I'll fix everything by killing everyone outside. And then inside the wall, the thing that Eren created, the movement that he created is literally this like aggressive fascist, like what's the word? Like they have like, they say like there's a slogan, like it's like, if we live, we win. If we die, we lose.
Oh, don't worry.
That is like so horrific.
We got Historia over there. She had her child, and she's in charge a little bit over there, so it'll be fine. I'm like, I don't know about that.
No, it's so fucked. It's
and
like
I do love the shot of like basically the family Gabby had her arc with, where they're all just like annoyingly looking at them and be like, fuck these guys.
They're just gonna have to deal with living in fascism now. Unfortunately, it's probably gonna be pretty bad for their lifestyle.
And like, even at the end, like on the way over back to the island, when like basically all the Titans minus Falco and because Gabby, they became farmers. They're like
they went and helped
they're like,
people.
yeah, we're gonna try to do some kind of relations, like some kind of peace trip, but like I'm surprised we haven't been shot down yet. Like. It's actually insane that we're still alive.
It's really dumb.
Also,
okay.
I think we're the same person that's still alive.
Reiner, you talk about Reiner?
No, Reiner's. I'm glad Reiner's alive.
So one of the things that people like hate the most is that Reiner, like the fact that Reiner's last scene is about him like sniffing Historia's like letter. It's like this character just never grew. That's like, unfortunately, like that's kind of like the feeling I have too. Like
he also just like
he just never grew from where he was. In the early season 1.
I mean, he also went through so much like mental trauma and like,
and he was set up to be like the best character because of it, and then he's just like sniffing letters.
He's like, oh, her handwriting's really good and it smells really good. I'm just like, I'm like, it's
just nothing. It's like it's just a terrible way to leave off with him. I think.
Yeah.
It's like
I don't know. Depressing. His moment with his mom is really. I love that moment.
That's better. Yeah, I think that's a good scene.
But I don't know. Every other character just kind of does nothing. I would kind of wish Peak was kind of there, like with the kids as well. Other than I was surprised she went with them.
It's weird that she goes with them.
Yeah, I always thought she would have been with the kids because she's kind of like the older sister to him.
Yeah,
and it would have been nice to see her to help them farm.
And then I also said they didn't have the scene where there's Gabby and Falco with Levi in the wheelchair, which I love that part.
And then what's it called? God, what's her name? What's it called? Jakopan.
Oh, Helena.
Helena. She is still alive and just living free now, despite her also being like a huge fucking cause to this. and Jaegerist. Like, it actually blows my mind that she is also getting scot-free.
Yeah, it's really bad.
Does not deserve it. The fact that the government official just let her be.
So here, actually, yeah, this is like one of the last images they didn't show. It's like a grown-up Gabby, Falco, and Levi, and I love this.
I would have loved that.
It's very cute.
Very much kind of. There's another character in the end of Naruto that ends up in a wheelchair, and it kind of has like shots of like somebody with him at the end as well in a wheelchair. I kind of like that little things like that.
Jolly old London town.
But too bad. Well, then Mikasa buries Eren at the tree that he takes a nap at, and she just dies. It kind of fast forward. She dies of old age over there. The tree grows. The city's destroyed. Modern day ?
Yeah, this is all like so.
Cycle
the last
of violence
scene,
stuff.
The last scene with her is with the bird, and then she has like she's like Aaron, and then yeah, we have credits, and then we see like over credits. There's like a time lapse of we see her die. Actually, it goes full screen,
Yeah,
and we see her like be buried, or we see like her funeral, which is interesting that they felt the need to show that. But yeah, we see like time go by, and then you know what? Violence keeps coming back. It's almost like it's a cycle or something.
never heard that before.
And then yeah, we have the funny little epilogue
Of like the tree overgrows in the very far future, and the child stumbles upon it because I'm guessing he's going to find the Eren as a bug that's going to turn him into the Titan stuff. I guess.
Yeah,
I guess.
It's really
They don't need. They did not need that scene at all.
It just hammers in more of like the cycle of violence never ends. It's like yeah, I know. This has been the whole thing.
Yeah.
I've fucking read Vinland Saga and it's better than this shit.
Like just that's funny. I just cut to like them going off and cuts to Mikasa and pans to the city, and then you can kind of do those images like you see like grown up Gabby and Falco with Levi. You show like Annie and Armin together at some point. Like you can do all these cut around to see what they are up to, and like I'm still mad at like Historia got like nothing really other than seeing her child, and you said red herring or whatever.
So okay, it is never confirmed. So you said the eyes. I never even thought about that.
The child had like the brown eyes. Like
it's funny because in the fan base, this was like the biggest thing that people cared about was Historia's baby. That was like, but before it ended,
was this Attack on Titan's flash forward?
Kind of, yeah. It was like, it really was one of those things where people were like, either this is definitely Aaron's or this is definitely not Aaron's, and they kind of make a like offhand like joke. One of the characters off screen is like, so it was that farmhand boy the whole time. So I think it's supposed to not be. I think it's really supposed to be a red herring.
I'm like, this is why even like. You could put it in there, like, cause, oh yeah, we could have done it together. It would have solved like a lot of issues, but our freedom of choice. Neither one of us wanted to do that, so we didn't do it.
It's so weird, cause yeah, it really feels like they want you to think that.
And I'm like, then it was just a waste of a plot point that didn't go anywhere. It just made Historia just be a housewife.
Yeah. Like,
I still would have loved Historia. Like I said, Historia seeing Ymir at least, like when everybody was seeing the ghost, would have been a great moment, and he didn't do that. It's kind of annoying how much like minor things just are just not good.
It's unfortunate.
But any other differences then that were cut out that I should know about? Like
I don't really think so. I mean, there probably was a lot of like little things, but everyone's really pointing to that one line being removed as it should have been.
It's very funny.
Her baby looks really creepy in the manga.
Ugh. I don't like the manga art.
Yeah, that's something people have said for years.
Everybody looks ghoulish.
Everyone says that. So yeah, I think there's a joke in like this panel or this text where they say like, "Oh, it was the farm boy the whole time."
Yeah, because the child just comes up and he has like brown blonde hair and like brown eyes, and I'm like, I guess maybe it was brown eyes, but it probably wasn't the shade of Aaron's eyes or something like that. I would guess.
I thought someone said, "How and why did Historia get pregnant, and by whom?"
Good question.
Yeah, it's just I mean, it's unfortunate. We've talked about how we love Historia.
Helena should be in jail. As I said, I just don't like the the island ending. It's like everything that they fought for is just seems like a waste now, since that island is just the Nazi-controlled Germany, I guess, and they're trying to go on a peace mission, which is probably for naught.
There's so many like jokes that you can now like see. The one is that all the fans don't call Reiner, they call him Lina.
Why?
Because in the show they call, that's what characters call him. They say Lina because they're Japanese and they pronounce their R's with the L's.
No one can ever say German.
So yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like I feel a lot of mixed things in there. Like there's a lot of good in there, but just a lot of confusing stuff. And I also just like working around some of the retcons as well. Like I like a lot of the post time skip stuff, but like a lot of it also just like head scratching.
Yeah, it just feels a little underdeveloped. Like I wish that more time was spent.
Yeah,
on it. I do. I really kind of like the Attack on Titan art style in the manga, but it is certainly bad. Like I tried reading it from the beginning, and I had a hard time with it because I think it's pretty rough.
Yeah, everybody said everybody looks ghoulish, but I don't know. I don't know. It's just like I said, a lot of it factored around Mikasa, who I've said I don't like that much throughout there, and everything with her did not feel earned.
Yeah,
like there was not enough. Like I was like, he just cannot write a romance, I guess, or like any kind of a romance. It was like a one-sided romance. You've always said there was no inclination of like Eren showing any kind of affection that wasn't just a friend of mine, a childhood friend of mine.
It's just crazy.
And like any kind of redemption I think I said it before in my prediction. I'm like, you cannot. I think in my prediction, like, you cannot redeem Eren. He has to die. But I can see them sparing him somehow because of like love, or I guess, or Mikasa.
Yeah,
it's weird. I've gone through this with like when we did the rebuilds of Ava, where like the romance love stuff was like I hate in it, and like a lot of head scratching stuff in that as well. I have very similar feelings to the rebuild 4.
It's so upsetting to me because Attack on Titan is such an incredible series, and I think it's really like it's one of the best anime series there is. And then this ending, and it's not just the ending. Like I think there's a lot of issues.
Oh yeah, we talked about that with some of those like retcons or like
but it's like it could have been like one of the best. It really could have been like one of the best.
Because this author did like Death Note before, and a lot of people.
No, the director.
Director, okay.
I don't believe the author had written any other long form series.
Really?
Ishiyama
still hasn't.
Yeah, he hasn't done anything, which I'm like not surprised by, because I'm sure if you write a series like that gets this big, you probably are good for life.
Yeah.
If you're smart with your money, you're probably set for life. But normally there's like you always see like follow-ups for like big things like this. Like it's kind of crazy that there isn't something that's like the follow-up to Attack on Titan. Like I know Attack on Titan wasn't a Jump comic, but you'd think that like a big publisher would want to grab Ishiyama and be like, hey, can you just do like a monthly series for me? Because that's what Attack on Titan became. Or I don't know if it always was, but it was monthly near the end.
Yeah, he hasn't done like anything really. He did like a bunch of Attack on Titan stuff, Attack on Avengers, crossover with Marvel Comics.
Yeah.
And then nothing since 2014. I think he doesn't have to, I guess.
He really doesn't. He's only 37.
That's crazy. But yeah, I don't know. It's just an ending with a giant. I guess a lot of stuff have that with just having a giant blemish on.
It was a huge. It's like this is like the worst case scenario in my opinion for an ending. Like something that it's so bad that it like you can't not think about it when you think about the series.
Yeah.
That's why like in comparison, Code Geass has like a great ending. And when I think back to that show, I just think about how like great everything is set up. Yeah. And I also think about how awful the fan service is. It's really bad in that.
Yeah. When I think of like FMA, I said Brotherhood, I think of the ending of how satisfied and like happy I was to see, okay, everybody going this direction, great. I feel good. I don't need to like any more of it. It ended chef kiss. I don't need to see any more of it.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, the end of Fullmetal Alchemist is great too. Like it's such a good ending, and I love the little gag joke when they're like, "Let's try and bring back Mom."
That's a blooper, Jim.
I know.
The amazing blooper.
I love that blooper so much. But no, really, the end of Attack on Titan or the end of Fullmetal Alchemist is great.
I'm trying to think of any other like long series that I've watched that kind of have a.
That's what kind of stinks. Like there aren't a ton of these like, I don't want to call them like with shonens. It's like there's like your fucking like super long like 100 billion episode.
Yeah, I've been a couple of that, but I can't really put those in there because
No. I'm talking about like the more condensed like Code Geass, Attack on Titan. There's a couple. Basically, we're talking about like 2 to 3 seasoners that are like really, really.
I haven't
strong.
finished Mob Psycho yet, so I don't know how
That's kind
ends.
of another one. Yeah, I haven't finished that either.
Trying to think of like anything that I've actually finished. Like I remember I did finish Fire Force manga, and that ending is very interesting. I actually love the ending of it. It's just a lot of the stuff in between that mainly one character I don't like, and that ruined a lot of it. But the ending is like generally like really interesting.
I would be too mad reading that. I think.
Like I would like. I don't know. The ending is really like I said, really interesting. But I said he had to get through a lot of the worst fan service I've ever read in any manga.
I need like One Piece, but like without the fucking fan service cat character.
You have to. I said she is the worst part, but there is the most fascinating double down I've ever seen an author do for a character. That is generally like the most like interesting thing. It's terrible, but it's generally fascinating to see an author double down on such a horrible fan service character.
I'm good.
But no, I like the show. I overall experience of the show, I really liked it. A lot of like really cool moments and parts. It's just the ending and some of the later time skip stuff is kind of head scratching. Attack
on Titan has some of the most incredible moments in anime. Like the one scene I think about all the time is in season 2 when Eren fights Reiner for like the first time.
Yeah.
And he's getting his ass beat, and then he realizes that he needs to do like Brazilian jiu-jitsu moves on him in order to win, and that scene is so fucking satisfying, and it's animated incredibly beautifully.
That even has like the scene of like, oh yeah, he's colossal, I'm armored. Hey Eren.
Yeah.
Like what? Like
that is an incredible fucking scene. Ugh.
Even like some of the tension scenes, most of the OVAs are like awesome as well. Like
yeah, any scene with Gabby, I know she's post time skip, but like Gabby,
even the Reiner Eren like talk underground was like awesome. Amazing. I love that part.
It's just like it's so rare to get a series where like you have like so many incredible moments, and you're just like at the edge of your seat watching some of these scenes.
But then I got burned of like Ymir being off screened. Like I got annoyed by that.
That's really bad. That's one of those things where it feels like an accident that he like chose to make Ymir like a character, but that scene where her and Historia connect is like so incredible. You're like, how are you not like shifting the entire focus of the manga to focus more on this?
Yeah, because like, they could use her execution as like a thing they show in the before they reveal that he's in line to become the Jaw Titan or whatever.
Yeah, I have a few final thoughts that I kind of want to share. Like ultimately, I think that maybe the writer of Attack on Titan is like, I don't think he cares enough about his characters.
Obviously, yeah.
In a way that
I feel like
it really hurts the series.
I felt like he was forced to keep Levi alive. It felt like because Levi probably like wanted to blow him up, and then like, haha, I'm gonna kill him off. And the editor's like, you can't kill him off. Like I know you blew him up, but he has to live through this because he's too much of a money maker. Because like I wanted to keep Hanji alive as like the one representative to that, but no. I can see that being a thing of like the one character you were like he was not allowed to kill off. And the other part, he was even allowed to have Eren be like the villain for it.
I'm not too surprised about that.
I don't know. Not many times where like your main character becomes the villain like that.
I don't know. I mean, there's certain. I don't want to spoil anything.
And not like a series where like the series starts out with your main character kind of being like the antagonist to everybody.
No, I know what you mean. But I ultimately like. I think the problem is that like. So I want to like. I like a series that will kill characters off. I'm not one of those guys that's like I think George R. R. Martin. I know it's meme Game of Thrones, but I think he's a really great example of a writer that like truly does like deeply care for his characters, and he'll kill off tons of his characters. But the way that he talks about it in interviews, it's like. They made a bad decision, and there was no other outcome where they could get out alive.
It's like
whereas this, it doesn't feel like Ishiyama treats his characters like real Like throughout, we have a joke about basically there's always like the arc characters. Like he always introduces characters to just die in like gruesome ways to Titans, or to serve as like a springboard for another character.
Like I was like, Rocky kills off characters too, but he always makes like a big moment when.
Yeah, that's like a.
And some characters, he's like, I mean, he mentioned like I couldn't have him kill him. Like Fugo was one of those. That's how he wrote him off as well. Because either have him fight him, like I can't have him kill a friend. I'm just gonna write him off.
And like as stupid as JoJo is, like you can tell that he has like the affection for his own characters. Like
except maybe at the end of part.
Yeah. Well, I think. Well, I don't think he had affection for Kyo. I don't think he ever had affection for K rather.
Jobin.
Or Jobin, yeah. Well, that one hurts a little bit. I think that was still a decision. That was still a very conscious decision.
But it was not treated as a huge deal as other major JoJo character deaths, I feel.
Yeah, he's also a villain, though.
Even at his character in his role.
He was a bad guy, though.
Even fucking Doppio had like a bigger death send off.
Well, I mean, he's the main villain, though.
He is half of the main villain, but he's like the second half of the main villain. But he still has like a huge send off.
Well, he has like a moment.
He has a moment. This is more than Jobin. Jobin's like, oh, I got a thing in my heart. But
yeah, I mean, it's a shame, but like Jobin's not the main villain.
No, but still.
Whatever.
I still like a send off for like a character.
Yeah, I just think like I really think that he doesn't not respect. I just don't think he has like the affection towards his own characters that in my favorite stories.
Yeah.
So another comparison I wanted to make, and you've seen the Madoka movies, right?
Yes.
Rebellion.
Yeah.
Rebellion's the third one that changes everything.
Yes, I've seen that. It's been a while, so
yeah.
like I know the major twist of that.
So yeah, brief spoiler about the third Madoka movie.
Go play Pachinko if you haven't.
Go play the Pachinko series. This will be like a minute long, but like, Homura. So her whole thing is like it's kind of the same thing with Ymir. Like Homura has this like twisted version of love for Madoka that it turns her into a villain.
Mm-hmm.
But it's built on like a whole series worth of time with this character, and that doesn't feel weird. Like it's upsetting to see like a good guy turn evil.
Yeah.
But it makes sense with her character. With Ymir, having Ymir be like this like love has twisted her into causing all this pain. It's like I don't know her. I don't know Ymir. Like we see her for like
we've had
two flashbacks.
Yeah, we have like very like you have some flashbacks, but nothing else really with her. She doesn't talk to any other stuff really.
It's not compelling to me in the same way. Even like Mikasa, like I know we see Mikasa like pining over Eren, but
it's like one of
we don't know like why, aside from the fact that they almost got like raped and killed when they were like 9.
It's like one of the things where like, oh yeah, this guy, he was evil, but he was mind controlled the entire time by this other bag. It's like
it makes it just.
It's the end of a lot of Final Fantasy games where like Final Fantasy 9 does this, where you have like, oh man, this villain we've been like dealing with the entire game, and oh wait, you gotta fight one more guy after that, and he's like not, he's just another guy, he's just a god kind of guy.
Yeah, that's a JRPG thing.
But it's like one of those equivalent where like, oh, it could be like, oh yeah, this is the main villain, and then does another, not really, it's another threat, but not as characterized as the one you've been dealing with the entire game.
Yeah, it's just upsetting. It's like it just feels like things could have been so much better. But
I agree. I still enjoyed my time watching the show.
Oh yeah,
but
and it was so fun to do this. I was so happy to revisit the show, and
I got a good laugh out of Mikasa
kissing
a head, a dismembered head. But yeah, I said it's definitely not up. Probably not in my favorite series that I've watched through yet, but. Like I said, I had a lot of complicated thoughts like similar to watching the last Rebuild, where I'm like, man, I like why some of this stuff at the end. Why?
Yeah, why is a good word for it.
But all right, is there any other thoughts you have? Any other things you need to show me?
I thought I had one other thought. I guess it wasn't that important because it's gone away now. But I think that's it. I think we're done with Jo-ttack on Titan.
Okay, before we end it, then, what is your favorite moment in Attack on Titan?
Probably. Oh, that's really hard. There's too many good ones.
Our highlight.
It's probably like Annie's fucking like laugh coom face. I love that part so much because it's just like such a drastic turn for that character, and it's like. it's such a great reveal of her being the female Titan.
Yeah, that's very good. I think I also really love the Ymir being a Jaw Titan was actually caught me by surprise.
That is so good because it's like a stealth drop. Like it's right after the Reiner, it's right before the Reiner one. So
and there were little things
everything's like setting you up to think that the Reiner thing, because like there's a lot of clues you can pick up that Reiner is like the bad guy, but like that one is like punches you in the face.
And the food line that's dropped in there, like
it's so smart. I love that so much.
That's probably one of my all-time favorite moments in there, and made me like, really love Ymir. And like even like the whole like the flashback to Aaron's dad was like really crazy to watch.
Yeah, that was a really incredible scene too from the animation. I also already said like the Aaron versus Reiner when they're fighting and Aaron does CQC on him or like jujitsu moves. It's incredible.
And I think Erwin's final charge and then Hanji's sacrifice is also just like awesome.
Also, I think about all the time. I made you watch it when we were watching it. The little flash forward thing that shows in your season 3, like the part that cuts ahead when you don't have any context for what the decision is between Armin and it just shows like Mikasa just go for Levi's throat, and you just don't know like why she's doing. Also, that scene in general is incredible. Like I love like the tension of that scene is so incredible.
It's very good.
Oh, Attack on Titan's so fucking good.
When it's good, it's good.
It's like literally hits highs that like other anime wish they could.
And I think like, Mikasa and Flock are like my lowlights. I hated them. But I think I was supposed to hate Flock. But Mikasa just being like the ultimate psychopath was like the worst, but also the funniest thing. I think a lot of my humor came from that. And also just like I love another shout out the OVA with Annie Cop is like awesome.
That one is so good. That could be a series. Like I know it doesn't make sense if they just did like a timeline where she is like a detective.
So good.
I would say also like another low light too, especially in the final season, is the Connie wanting to throw Armin into his mom's mouth. That part really fucking sucks.
The alternate timeline where that happened is very funny.
It would just ruin everything.
But yeah, that was whatever. But I did get my favorite character. I did love like Hanji, like Levi. I love Peak.
I love Hanji.
Peak being a new character. I loved the bit she got in it.
Peak and Gabby, I think, do so well as new characters. Falco's good, but like I don't know. For me,
he's good boy.
Yeah. He unfortunately, like, it's one of those things where like I know your role, like you have a role to serve. Where Gabby and Peak especially, Peak gets a lot of like fun moments and a lot of fun screen time.
Tired Peak on the couch is always great.
She forgets how to walk.
You can't blame her. She's been on 4 legs for like a year.
Yeah.
But yeah, as I said, a lot of it's been like really fun to watch, and I'm glad we did it. I'm glad I avoided so much. I
can't believe you avoided the spoilers. That's like, crazy, especially after it aired.
I was in Japan. I didn't. Luckily, didn't see anything on social media because I didn't really barely on it.
Did you see when I was in Japan? There was a giant Aaron in Shibuya. There was a giant Aaron not poster, like a little advertisement.
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, I took a picture of it. I'll show you.
That's so funny. But I'm trying to think of any other questions I have.
It's funny that it was Aaron because like he's kind of the bad guy in the end. It was him like as a baby boy.
Are we the baddies? It's just it's a very weird series. Like as I said, I love a lot, and I hate. That's funny. It's an epic punch.
He's doing a big epic punch
for anime that took like over a decade to finish, and it's kind of crazy that we actually got to the end of it.
Yeah.
And now, what do we have now? We have nothing. Yes. I guess that's it. I say we did highlight Lowlight's favorite moments. I'm like, do you have a favorite other than Annie? Do you have who's your favorite character other than like
me? Other
than the simp choices, the wife. Who's your actually favorite character without waifus?
It kind of shifts around a lot. Like early, I like Jean a lot.
I'm glad Jean
like my favorite.
I did love Jean a lot, and Reiner, and it ended up being one of my favorite characters in that like the final season.
It's kind of it's like going back to the thing with like Ishiyama like not loving his characters. Like I feel like there isn't like one character that I can point to that is like, oh, I love this character, but like I love a lot of the characters a lot of the time. Like Hanji, Erwin, and Levi are like great characters. I just love the characters that are evil, like willing to like do fuck shit, like Annie. Like I love when Annie does fuck shit. I love when Gabby does. Oh, Gabby. I would say Gabby's probably my favorite character.
Yeah.
If I couldn't pick Annie, it would be Gabby, just because I think Gabby is like one of the coolest characters in like a manga.
Yeah,
in like a shonen manga.
I really love Jean, and Jean was up there, and Reiner in like the beginning of the final season was like amazing for like this just everything he's gone through. He kind of like broken man. I kind of really was fascinated by that.
That's why like I feel like they fumbled near the end, where like I think Reiner should have had like a better. I feel like that kind of falls away after.
That's why I wanted like that resolution stuff. I want to see where could Reiner possibly go at the end.
Mental institution.
I like the little moment at the end. It's like, yeah, we're a scout regiment. Other than like I was military police.
That was kind of cute.
Peak is like I did love Peak throughout the final episode, going like, I'm never talking to Eren before, so I will blow him up.
Also, he doesn't even like talk to her, which is really funny because like why would he like. He never like
Who is this woman?
I think he communicated with her like one time.
Yeah, when he did the at everybody.
Well, no, and when he had the gun, she had the gun pointed to him. Remember they had that whole scene?
That's right. Yeah, I love that scene.
That was the only time where they ever like spoke.
Undercover Peak. I love that. Yeah. Scene was great.
Attack on Titan was so good.
Yeah,
it wasn't.
But I guess that's it. Anything else then? Any other questions we got for the series overview?
No.
Like, all right. I guess I plug it up then for the final time for
plug up the hole. Remember the hole?
Oh yeah, with the guy peeking out of it. Thank you all very much for listening to the series. We greatly appreciate it. If you liked it, leave a like, subscribe if you haven't, leave a comment, leave a review wherever that's possible. You can follow the podcast on Twitter or follow me and Jim separately, which is on there. You can also donate to our Patreon to have your name shouted out at the beginning of a Jo-ttack episode every month, or when there's actually is a chapter in a month. You can also, I think that's it. And I don't know, any other series, because this is like a long series we had to run it, but I'm not sure what another series we can replace this with.
I don't know.
I said I'm going to miss our little animation we have for this series.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, it's been so long since
I guess if you want, we have another ongoing series right now, which is
Jujutsu Kaisen.
Jujutsu Kaisen, which is probably be on hiatus because the series is on hiatus because of horrible working conditions by Mappa.
Anyway.
But
we have our Chainsaw Man show.
Yeah, Chainsaw Man whenever we can. We've been backed up a little bit because of vacations, but if you have any other recommendations, maybe Code Geass.
I just watched that kind of recently. I don't know if I'd
maybe
want to
in the future. Maybe any other ideas for like a series like this? Maybe like
I wanted to time for one that I would recommend that would have been a good like kind of similarly length show where it's only like 2 seasons. Is what's it called? Shiki. Shiki is like a vampire show, but it's really good. I swear. But it would have been a really good like Halloween one.
Yeah. I'm trying to find a good like popular one that's like that, but not like like too long though, and like shonen.
Yeah, that's why. I was thinking Shiki a lot because like I know I watched it years ago.
I still want to do.
It's like a good contained series.
I still want to do like Hellsing Ultimate with you. Actually, like sit there and watch it.
That's pretty
you.
short though, too, right?
It's something like 6 episodes, they're like an hour. They're long. They're long episodes though.
Oh, that's 6 episodes.
I think like 6 or 8 episodes. I think Ultimate is at least.
And if they're probably like really nice quality.
That's the one I wanted to do. That was like one of my choices. But
that'd be cool.
But we'll see. Any other recommendations, leave them in the comments. But yeah, put your AOT thoughts or trivia or things in the comments that we may have missed or questions that we asked and just did not feel like looking up.
Yeah, any other funny changes that I didn't know about.
And with that, I guess we will see you next time.
See ya in the paths.
Bye-bye.
Bye.